Push your way, say yeah.
What up?
What up, brothers?
Yeah, welcome to Carbros Podcast, episode 33.
The big 3-3. Triple 3.
It's a brand new week.
Or double 3.
It's still funny. Welcome back. Thank you for being here. Sup to our patrons.
Yeah.
Special hello. Thank you, guys.
Make sure you rate this thing.
Still, rate this podcast. Sound like a broken record. Seriously, though, we love our patrons. If you want to be in that elite group, Google Carbros Patreon. Link in the description below. Highly encourage it. Check it out.
Be generous.
Yeah. Hello to the rest of our fans, too. You guys are great. Hope you're enjoying your commute and or extended morning dump. Like, whatever your routine is.
De-icing an aircraft like that one.
Yeah, de-icing an aircraft. Okay, so there's a bit of debate within the group here, and it is about the best single year ever for cars. The best single year ever for cars.
Which is 1970.
Yeah, and Garrett wrote in here, he's like, 1970.
Yeah.
Like, probably 1970. And I was like, that's a dumb answer. Like, no, it's not. It's clearly 80.
It just made me think of like how we just talked about all those really old car reviews where like the dude's doing like a 60-0 on the car. Like, and that's the best year for cars.
That's all the proof you need.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so Garrett said 1970.
Do we want to let him explain
Which
why?
I've argued that before in an article that I wrote.
Okay,
many
so
moons ago.
he's already done his research. My gut reaction was that is not right.
But let's hear him out.
Yeah, should we? I'm not going to be like, okay, and then next topic. Oh, what do you guys think about aluminum siding? No, I think, personally, I'm just going to kind of pick a random one, but 93. That's going to be my...
It's solid.
That's my guess. So go ahead. Tell us all the wrong reasons.
Well, first, I would say to frame this question, I would say say you had a huge garage and like an unlimited amount of money,
Okay.
but all of the cars you had to be from 1 year only.
Okay.
So like you could be a massive car collector, but only from one single year.
Okay.
And you had to
guess.
that's the only car you could drive
Well, I mean,
every day to work.
let's say you
and
wouldn't have
such.
to drive it to work, but just
Yeah, you better say that.
you could have a whatever to drive.
Okay.
But like
Okay.
in terms of like the hobby, all of your cars had to be from one single year.
That's a fair way to put it.
They don't have to like debut in that year or whatever, but be
Yeah, it has
exist,
they all have to
exist
be
in that
titled
year.
as a 93. Yeah, or sorry.
Right.
As a
No.
70.
For you.
as a whatever.
Yeah. Okay, go for it.
Yeah, I think 70 is like the greatest year in terms of just like mechanical, like, because after that, like almost immediately after that has been like cars kind of started to suck because of
Emissions or something.
yeah, like emissions laws, like oil crunch. It was like the peak of like pre-technology in cars when they were just like higher compression, like bigger carbs, and like kind of like very analog, old school.
Yeah.
And I think design of that era is just kind of like unrivaled.
Give me some examples.
Well, let's see, like Lamborghini Miura in terms of just like beautiful.
That's a low blow.
I mean, that probably came out in like 67 or something.
Sure, but they made it.
I mean,
70.
like Toyota 2000 GT.
Yeah.
I mean, even like 240Z. I mean, 510. I mean, like not necessarily beautiful cars, but just
Sure,
like
a bunch of
if you could only have cars from this era.
Right.
I mean, of course, muscle car. That was also like the peak of the
Muscle car.
original muscle car era.
Yeah. GTO.
Yeah, I mean, GTOs, fucking big block Chevelles
Yeah.
and Corvettes.
Yeah, 70 is probably like the best year for muscle, whatever.
Yeah.
Like peak performance.
Yeah, of like that.
The craziest.
Pre-computers,
Yeah.
and even, I mean, I guess even the race cars of that era were pretty fucking sweet too. I mean, like the Formula One cars from 1970.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Right. I just like, even like the luxury cars are fucking sweet looking.
Like what?
Like the Benz?
Just, I mean, any of them, even fucking Cadillacs, Lincoln. I mean, like,
Back when Cadillac was actually
it meant like he drives a Cadillac.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you,
Yeah.
and I would love to own some of those, but like, I don't know.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I only want car, but like if you had to narrow, if you had to narrow it down to one year,
I feel like the majority of those cars look better in a garage than actually getting behind the wheel and driving them.
I don't know.
It's at least on a street or something like, I don't know.
Depends on what you're doing, I guess.
Right.
Okay, good try. So here's where my answer falls apart, because really you've got some, I'm going to say 93, but really it's like 92, 93.
Early 90s.
Because, well, even our early 90s, but that's not fair.
Yeah.
You know?
That's like me saying late 60s.
Yeah. But if you go 93, the thing about 93 is you lose F40.
Oh, I see.
Because the F40 ended in 92. But you get F40.
Sure.
Which in my eyes is like probably the best Ferrari
Couldn't you just go like 91 or
ever
something?
made. No, because if you go 92, you lose Supra.
No.
You lose Mark IV Supra. And I think RX-7.
It's a tough question.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, F40 or Supra, I'm going to have to go Supra.
It's been said many
2JZ, bro.
said
Sorry.
many times.
I mean, for some of us, there's no replacement. So all the good, everything good that Japan had to offer by 92, 93, it's like R32 GTR, all the good Nissan stuff. 93, you get the Z also, all the cool like Sentra, SER.
Everyone knows.
Sentra F40, I'm going Sentra.
Yeah.
It's like, what up? The Honda was good.
Yeah.
You had VTEC existed. NSX and like Civic SI was like good and stuff. RX-7Z, Supra, NSX, that whole like kind of fight from Japan. Corvette is still in C4, but you have the ZR1.
Yeah, I would say the biggest drawback to that is like American cars just weren't that great.
Yeah,
I mean,
like, I don't know. The Fox body's still cool.
Yeah,
like,
you had like the 4th gen Camaro.
Yeah, the Camaro was kind of weak.
Yeah.
Camaro, yeah.
But it's no 1970 when it comes to
but Camaro's only, in my opinion, Camaro's only been good twice. And it's right now and a really long time ago. It's like
the 90s ones are pretty fucking good when they came out. They're like 275 horsepower.
When they came
6
out,
speed.
they, like when you look at what they were when they came out.
The
they're pretty
90 like
badass,
3
I don't know.
Z28 was like the first. It was like the first muscle car that was like truly better than the originals.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It wasn't
6 speed.
It wasn't. It wasn't just
motor.
like trying to get back to it. It was like this is better than
Yeah,
a 69 Camaro in every
finally
way.
we are better than what they. Yeah, because for a long time it was like,
trying to work their way back.
sorry, like emissions are
Right.
killing this
Yeah,
thing.
we don't have the
It's not as
technology
good
to
as the
make
glory
those
days.
things.
Yeah, I agree with that. Wait, was that 93? So you said? Yeah, was that when Z?
Oh,
Dang.
bang.
Yeah, eat it.
Lump that one in. Yeah.
Yeah, throw
Shit,
it in
why
there.
should change
Arguing
my
4
answer.
coins here. Yeah.
LS 400. Like you've got like, dude, I love that thing.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Like Mercedes 500E or whatever. You've got the like Velvet Hammer, that whole thing. Some American stuff's pretty weak,
Taurus,
but yeah, Taurus,
SHO.
SHO, like the list goes on.
Lumina.
Here's why my answer is better is I could fill my garage with 93 cars and I daily drive one of those things. There's plenty in there that I'd totally rock a Civic SI or something.
You have this garage full of like Ferraris and shit.
Yeah,
Let
but
me-
daily
let
car.
me take
I'm
out my
just saying.
93 Accord.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
93 Civic. I had a 92 Civic. Drove that thing for years. People still daily drive those. That thing's an icon.
It's a good that era would definitely be my second.
You would not daily drive anything from the 70s.
No.
You
Well, I
would,
mean-
you would hate to do it.
But that I don't think that should be.
The deciding
I'm just
factor.
saying you can. It's like
I know, but I'm just saying the ability to daily drive one today shouldn't really have any bearing on like the greatest year of all time.
I think it does.
in terms of like design.
I think it
and-
does because it means the cars were safe and modern enough to still hold up today. I think so.
Questionable.
I think I'm going to take it because I can.
Oh, you forgot to mention Ford Ranger.
A Ford Ranger. Like, see? Yeah. Typhoon. When were those? Like,
I don't.
like early 90s was just hot.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, and like 92, 93, like I said, is one of those. But that was like, there was a peak there. And really, you don't gain a ton by going to late 90s.
Well, I think that it's 70 is sort of the same thing. Both of those were kind of like peaks of a certain type of car.
BMW E36, I think, is 93.
Yeah.
You got the Prelude in there. That's 92 to 96.
Yeah.
VTEC Road.
I just can't even, the list keeps going. The only thing you gain by going to later 90s is the 5 Series got better. The Mustang went to dual cam, like that motor got better, and
C5,
the Corvette got better. But all the Japanese stuff basically just like faded out and like sucked. So it was really early 90s was the big boom. So yeah, I say 93. I would, and those are the cars that are blowing up right now, value wise.
Yeah.
Like if you loaded your garage with your answer versus mine, I feel like mine would do better over a 20-year span.
In terms of appreciation, maybe. I think in terms of raw value, mine would be.
Yeah.
The Barrett Jackson crew.
Yeah, I mean appreciation.
Like whatever
because yours have
Ferrari
already
from-
like popped.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you're right. Yeah. Who knows what those Ferraris
A couple Lamborghini Miras. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
shit like that.
Appreciation aside, who really cares about value?
Right.
I just think like, yeah, straight up.
Yeah.
Would like to own. Yeah.
All right. Well, my year, now that you've framed it in the way that you could only own cars from this year.
Well, that's just a good way
Right.
to like
It's a good way to think about
justify it.
That's true. Well, I'm still going to go with my year then, because I chose 2015.
it. Yeah. Which sounds like a dumb answer.
It does.
Or not, I'm not dumb.
Kind of, yeah.
It's, it sounds like you don't know what the fuck
I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's the.
Sounds like
I wouldn't say it's the best year, but it was definitely a very good year and an important year for at least the way cars are today.
Yeah, I was almost going to pick 2015.
And then
but it's just like 93 is more interesting.
just because I feel like car companies just kind of started to recover from that big financial thing in like the late 2000s, and so this is when cars started to come out again that were good, and it was like the start of the direct injection, dual injection,
I think
modern day turbos.
Yeah, the thing that was getting me to think that way was that's kind of the peak of the American stuff,
Yeah,
I think.
new Mustang came out.
Yeah, when did the GT350R start? I think that's 2015.
the model year is 16. I don't know when
No,
that-
I think it's 2015.
I don't think.
I don't think so.
No,
'cause-
it probably. I
'cause-
think it like debuted in 2015, but the year is.
yeah, I'm pretty sure the
They
production year is
made-
not 2015.
I don't think there's such thing as a 2015 GT350.
137 of them.
In that model.
really?
2015, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So then you have Z28 and GT350R, and I think Hellcat too,
Yeah.
2015. And I think maybe 2014 was last year, but ZL1. It's just, I think that's the peak. I think the newer stuff is like better, but
Not as big.
Not as good. I think the newer Camaro is like, I just don't know. I don't think there's going to be a more exciting peak than whatever the era we're kind of currently
Right.
in.
But then even on the smaller end stuff, just like turbo, like the WRX came out with the new motor then, the Macan,
The Sorento.
GTIs, Kia Sorento,
Yeah, the Elantra got a mid-cycle
Yeah.
refresh, and the
10th gen Civic, I think, or maybe
Chevy Cruze started to come into its own.
Chevy Cruze got sunroof standard.
Yeah,
Game changer.
probably Apple CarPlay.
Rear-
Maybe
rear-
this was
rear
when it was-
discs.
My
This is
garage would
standard.
probably only be Chevy
Cruises.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good one. I haven't fully thought about the 2015 answer, but there's a lot of good stuff. But that answer we were talking about, like you can't say 2019,
Right,
Like,
yeah.
you can't say 2020.
I went back a couple years. Yeah,
Yeah, but fair enough. Let us know what you think. But you don't really have to because
we already.
we know it's 93. Let us know if you think it's 92 or 93. Yeah. One thing semi-related to the 1970 thing, and a lot of my recent like older car realizations have to do with me binge watching Mad Men. So here's another one. But just physical money. People always talk about like cars used to be like way cheaper, and they didn't really.
Inflation adjusted.
Adjusted for inflation, they may have been a little bit cheaper, but like, let's be real, they had like fucking hay in the headliners.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's not like they haven't gotten way better in a lot of ways. So like, yeah, maybe they were cheaper, but sure. When you
Get what you pay for.
Yeah, when you only have to put a ham radio in it.
Drum brakes.
But physical money hasn't changed. We didn't introduce like $1,000 bill along the way. It's like the unit of American currency, physical money, is all still the same. And so it was just way more useful the further back you go, because $100 bill
It's pretty substantial.
in 1970 was like $700 today. So it's like, if you had $100 bill, like
You're
that's
rolling.
fucking- you buy a refrigerator.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that's a
Right.
serious appliance.
Yeah.
Like most of the
It's a solid down payment.
of the fun things I want to buy, you could buy with like a single bill.
Yeah.
You know. And whereas like a $10 bill is like 70 or whatever. So it's like you could roll up to a dealership and buy a car cash.
Yeah.
And it's like, it'd be like a wad of cash, basically, but not a crazy one.
Right. Here you go.
Like $3,000. You can buy like a,
Well, it's like we've all bought and sold $3,000 cars.
but
They
you
show
always
up.
use cash.
There is
Right?
an
Oh, do you
envelope.
take like Venmo? Like, no, you're just going to go get cash and like not report it to the IRS, you know, and put like $150 in your DMV thing. So it's like you could buy a car with $3,000, like totally, you know, like the same way it did today. If you try to buy a car with cash today, like you take
like a
cash-
new car.
yeah, a new car, and you fucking have like $70,000,
Yeah.
in like a sack
Briefcase.
Yeah, they'd freak the fuck. I mean, do people do that? I think when they say I bought it cash,
just write a check.
they
wrote a
mean
check.
that they like wired the money over.
Yeah.
But like, you can't really buy a car today with physical cash. You're fucking counting out 70 G's.
I wonder
on a little
if
counter.
the hood.
do dealerships probably like, do you think if someone did want to buy it with cash, do you think they have to do it? Like when, you know, if you
don't
buy anything
know.
else at like a retailer and, you know, even if you walked in with, I'm going to buy this with pennies, like they legally have to take that.
Oh, right. Yeah, because you can't turn down.
You can't turn down like real currency.
currency. Yeah, I
Trying to
don't
buy a
know.
car with pennies or something stupid like that.
Yeah, I don't know why you would, but yeah, would they have to? Yeah, has anyone done that before? Has anyone bought like a? I don't know.
I know you can give cash as a down payment, so I'm sure you can.
Yeah, it's just the amount.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of like I've sold cars before for like 12 grand cash, and holding that amount of money freaks you out.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it is very suddenly apparent that like I could just lose
I need to go to
this.
the bank quick.
Yeah, you start, it kind of worries you. And so I've never actually held 50 grand.
Right,
You know, I've
exactly.
never, I've never had that much physical money in my hand. But I don't know. I just thought that was kind of funny.
But speaking of that, like there's this kind of like old saying where it's like, oh, like if you're paying cash, like that like it meant something. Like the,
Oh, right.
like the dealer's gonna work with you if you have cash.
Yeah.
Like, they don't give a fuck. Like they would rather.
Yeah, they're going to get their money either
They would
way.
rather. I mean, they would rather finance you and get like a kickback from whatever bank. Like they don't give a fuck.
I
Like,
have cash right now.
I will buy this car cash. Like, oh, like okay, we'll sell it to you for more.
Yeah. Like, I don't care. Everyone's going to buy this thing. We can finance someone without a job. We
Right.
don't give a shit if you have cash.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything for us. Get out of here. Yeah, that might have been true at a time.
Right.
When they're like desperate.
When
to
like credit
finance.
wasn't super easy to come by.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, the fall of cash. Okay. Semi-related to buying cars.
Actually, very related.
Yeah.
Extremely related. Facebook classifieds.
Yeah, I know. We like touched on this a couple episodes ago when we were talking about Craigslist,
Yeah.
but just
This is kind of the new Craigslist.
I know.
Craigslist 2.0.
Yeah.
right?
A little bit.
Well, I know Mike doesn't even use Facebook like at all.
I don't use social media.
Yeah,
I think
he's-
it's cancer.
Which
Which I think everyone who does use it is filth.
Everyone who's watching this right now on social media.
Present company.
well, for
included.
the most part, I agree with that.
Yeah.
And like if you would ask me a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, like about Facebook, it's like fuck Facebook.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's got, like I don't even, there's no reason to even go on there. But now
Yeah, but hold on.
Yeah, now there's
they have like
incentive.
their
Yeah.
marketplace.
Now they've
classifieds.
incorporated subject that is very dear to Garrett's
Yeah,
heart, which
but-
is browsing janky ass cars across the country and then judging the owners.
Clicking on their profiles.
They made that subtle little change, and
Yeah, so
now
like
he's all
I don't know when
about
it actually started. Probably
I don't know.
a year or two ago.
Yeah.
but like it's pretty big.
Yeah, it's
now,
grown.
Where it's almost like probably overtaken Craigslist. I would say.
Yeah, it's an easier way to buy
in
and sell
terms of
stuff.
just like volume of stuff
Right.
available. But it's actually in a way it's like pretty. It's like smart, but also scary
yeah,
because like obviously you can search for stuff
right.
and like it memorizes that.
Yeah, any information you give to a social media
Yeah,
platform,
you're just
it,
like
learns
funneling.
about
So
you.
like you click on it's like here's some suggestions.
yeah, the
based on like
suggested
stuff
or similar items for sale.
right,
yeah.
like based on stuff you've searched for or looked at.
Yeah.
And so like every day, like you go on and like
you just go down this rabbit hole of
Well, because like for a while, the whole like suggested for you was pretty bad,
Right.
Just
Yeah.
for most
It's like, I don't
things.
fucking
If you're
care
like,
about that.
Like what? Like yeah, I looked at a washing machine
Like,
3 years ago,
right,
you
yeah.
know. But it's like to see that stuff get more sophisticated and be reflected back at you.
Right, you're
It's
like,
like,
oh, okay.
you may be interested in this stuff, and your feed is just like, oh, it's like a it's like a Mitsubishi Diamante. Like it's so well tuned now.
Yeah.
It'll be like
it's
a
like they do-
Metro convertible and like a Pinto with like a V8 swap.
You're like here's like a van.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a Dodge Van with like a 5-speed conversion, and you're just like, oh shit, they actually,
they know
They're
me too.
inside my brain.
yeah, you're plugged into the fucking Matrix now. Are you sure you don't
Yeah,
want this
and
like Cressida wagon that's out in a field? You're like, damn it,
I kind of do.
hold on.
Yeah, like obviously, like Facebook in general, it just made not just the classifieds, but the whole thing is just
Made to
designed to keep you keep you scrolling.
keep you on their site, right?
Yeah.
So the better they can do at learning your behavior,
Right.
the better they can
So it's
keep you
and
on
the
site.
way the classifieds work is like you can just like it'll start off with stuff close to you.
Yeah, right.
It's like here's some other stuff that's farther away.
Yeah.
You just like keep going and going and going and going.
Yeah, which was fine for John and I. We have this group chat for Car Bros. We're like all through it. We'll just kind of like post whatever stuff.
random funny pictures.
Yeah,
and-
as I assume most people's like group chats
Yeah.
in iMessage are, it's like posting pictures and then subsequently more zoomed in versions of that picture until it's just like pixels and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was fine when it was like, yeah, once or twice a week, Garrett will send like, oh, here's this like,
Sweet thing
Miata
on-
that you guys don't really give a shit
yeah,
about.
Craigslist or something.
But
Yeah.
now Facebook Classifieds has allowed him to like twice a day
Take it to the next level.
oh, check out this like Geo Prism.
No, there.
It's got dual overhead cams.
A week or two there was a Suzuki Swift
Suzuki
GT.
Swift.
Excuse
Excuse
me.
me.
Well, way different.
The thing is, it wasn't just a regular Swift; it was a GT.
Hold on,
Okay.
guys. It was
Do you still have a picture of it? We can.
I think that one's sold.
Here-
Unfortunately,
oh,
but
damn.
John can find a picture.
don't
of a
worry.
Suzuki
Thanks to the
Swift.
internet. Here's a picture of a Suzuki Swift, and then here's a picture of a Suzuki Swift GT. Withhold your judgment, because instead of a 1 liter 3-cylinder, it's got like a 1.1 liter
Four-
4-cylinder.
dual overhead
They're
cam.
trying to convince us it's cool. It's
I
like-
stand by that. All right.
yeah, instead of 63 horsepower, it has 74.
And then he'll post
Like,
a picture of the
dude.
seller too. Like it's not just the car.
Yeah,
he goes
like,
down
yeah,
the rabbit
yeah,
hole.
Wait, it gets even better.
Yeah, and like as we mentioned before, like you can vet the
Seller.
sellers.
Vet the
Yeah,
seller.
So there's not really like scam ads like
Right.
there is on Craigslist.
Yeah, I'm
Where
sure
they're
that'll
just like
change.
where they're
I'm
just
sure
like
it'll get
designed
worse.
by a computer.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
makes a bot profile.
So you can like just like immediately go to the person's profile and like see pics of like their kids. And
Yeah.
stuff.
So yeah, thanks to Facebook Classifieds. I'm not on social
Yeah,
media, but I still
but,
get the benefits of it.
Yeah. Me and the guy we mentioned last podcast, Eric,
Yeah.
he also browses quite often. So like sometimes we'll like,
So your guys' group chat is even
yeah, like we'll send,
Between the two,
like
of
we
you.
go and like screenshot the like suggested
Yeah.
stuff. So maybe we'll put 1 or 2 up of just like
Yeah.
a couple. It's like, here's stuff you might, and it's like some really random shit.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a van with a truck bed crafted onto it or whatever.
Yeah.
Like a monster truck. It's just like all this terrible, this ridiculous stuff.
Yeah. It's pretty
Oh
sweet.
man, yeah. Anyways, okay. Let us know if you've had some similar experiences with Facebook Classifieds. Okay, so keeping with our previous directors.
Our new behind the scenes.
Yeah, behind the scenes footage of previous videos.
This next one's really good. Let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's try that again.
Take it away, boys.
Yeah.
So welcome back to Behind the Scenes with Car Bros.
This video, another one that I have not seen in a long time.
Yeah.
But I was just noticing the title is weird.
Why?
Yeah, you picked a weird one for this.
JDM Secrets.
Yeah. It's like you were trying to do a clickbait thing, but
I don't know. It's like, it's so, one of the most frustrating things, honestly, about just YouTube is that like the title and the fucking thumbnail matter.
A lot.
and this was even like, this was 4 years ago, so even it's changed a lot since then.
Well,
but
no, they still matter. It's just like,
no, I mean like that they matter even more now than they did then. Yeah.
I think we wanted, I don't know what we wanted to call this, but it was like, okay, we better like put Skyline
keywords,
in the title.
SEO.
Yeah, it's just like, it's so stupid. So we're not good at it. We're also like, we're not good at that game.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And it's a hard game to even fucking know how to play.
Yeah, and it's a hard game to know how to play, unless you just want to put like your stupid face on the thumbnail,
Or
and, like a
if-
red circle and a green arrow or something. So yeah, that just reminded me. It's like JDM Secrets. Like what the fuck? And the thumbnail's like weird too. It's just like
we just call it the Japan video.
Yeah.
It's internally
Japan video.
known.
Yeah.
Internally on the project code.
Did you go to Japan and had the idea to make a video, or you just wanted to go?
No,
Honestly,
I think it came up as like, you were recovering from surgery.
Right.
So you were kind of out of commission, or at least out of traveling overseas commission.
Yeah, so Garrett was like, "I'm going to Japan. You should
Well, you
come
go
with me."
You go to Japan at least every 2 years or something.
Yeah,
like that, right?
I try to go every year, if not every other year or whatever.
And so I was like, "Sure, I'll go with you."
Yeah, I was like, "Do you want to go to Japan?"
Yeah, and so I flew out. I had never left the country. This was my first international trip. And I flew out a week before.
Or 2 weeks or
No, I think
something.
it was like a couple days before.
I flew out a couple days before.
I remember specifically, like, I was like, why don't you try to get in at like the same time? And you're like, no, I want to.
Yeah, I wanted to like just dive in.
Yeah, I want to be there like at least a couple days all by myself.
Yeah. I didn't want to
with
like
no like expertise.
Yeah,
or
no help.
Yeah.
And so I really didn't plan shit. I just like literally just like flew to Japan because a big part of that stuff for me is I like feeling really uncomfortable. It's sort of like I don't like. Okay, I'm gonna go here. Then I'm gonna try this restaurant.
Right.
It's just like you're in
wherever the wind takes you.
You're in Tokyo. Like book a hotel. I think I booked like 2 nights.
Yeah,
I had a hotel for 2 nights, and that's like as much planning as I did. So I flew out there. I think it was like 4 days. I don't know, a couple days before.
You spent most of the time in Tokyo, right?
Yeah, just
Almost
about
the whole
No, we
time,
went to Nagoya.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Once for Week Fest.
Yeah, so I flew in and stayed in Shibuya, which is like kind of like
for like Times Square.
Yeah, it's like a very like hip, very
it's where the famous like huge
if you've ever seen, we did a time lapse shot of it, but it's like a 5 street giant intersection, and it's like all the people do the crosswalk at one time. It's a pretty famous scene. So my hotel is like overlooking that. So that was a blast. I mean, I loved it, but I don't think we planned on making a video.
I think we like
there.
No, I know we like kicked it around. We're like, well, maybe we can make a video while we're there.
Okay.
And that was like as far as the planning ever got.
Yeah, because you had your camera with you.
Yeah, I was doing regular work stuff,
but this video was very
probably one of the like loosest.
Yeah, not only was it unplanned, but it wasn't even like a video. It was just like, here's a bunch of shots.
Yeah, we'll like find some stuff to link them together.
And then I got home and it was like, how the fuck do I tie all this shit together? And so
we knew we had some like some funny stuff.
That's why this video is like, there's a ton of voiceover
and B-roll
and a ton of like random B-roll.
Yeah, just from like all the shit we went
like
to.
graphics and stuff, because it's just like there's literally no story here.
The story is like, we go to Japan.
Yeah, there's literally no story, and so we just like I just made a video of like clips way after the fact. It just like it turned out good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was super unplanned at the time.
So let's start it.
Yeah. So enjoy.
R34 型スカイライン GTR
Pause.
はい最後のちょっと
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't. Well, our picture-in-picture is blocking this, but
This is my friend, Kage, who I believe he listens to the podcast.
yeah.
This scene, then I guess we must have.
At this point, you had probably picked out a storyline.
Well, because I remember thinking of, there are a couple different jokes from Car Bros that I thought of like weeks in advance, and this is one of them.
Before we specifically about Japan? But.
Yeah, before we flew out there though, and I remember just having this scene in my head. In my head, it was like we're over the engine bay of like an A86 or something. But yeah, this was one of them. I forgot about this. I thought about this a long time ago.
Is that his car, or
no? This is like some other guy's car, though. He drives 86.
God, Japan is sweet.
A new one?
We should go back.
Yeah,
Like a new 886?
Yeah.
Okay.
ツイッターも搭載してアテーサ ETS の 4WD 最後の伝統的な GTR です
Yeah. Pause it. He's actually like describing like about the R34.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that guy was
the 4-wheel steering.
so cool and nice.
Yeah, he's
like one of the
super
nicest
cool,
people I've ever met.
Yeah.
I don't know what you just said
Yeah, and I remember we shot that twice, and the second time, he nailed it, like even the first time. But I remember I was like, wait,
Like
to respond, like
Wait a
give
long
it,
pause,
like give
yeah.
it like a pretty dramatic pause. Because it's like I'm gonna be staring at you, and you're gonna
gonna be awkward.
You're gonna, it's like let it like marinate. And he did that second take. I remember like staring at him and just thinking like, "You're doing it, man. This is so good. You're doing it." He just nailed it. He totally nailed it.
straight out of the gate with what, a gong?
Yeah. We went pretty heavy on the car.
This is probably 19 seconds is when Jalopnik decided not to post this. Like, nope. Fuck. Fucking gong.
There it is, yeah.
Japan.
Oh fuck! I think we edited that part in our like Airbnb, and I remember laughing pretty damn hard at that. God, that city is
very
big.
And not only do we have the gong, but we have the like Chinese.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that's called. Like how we.
It's called like Chop Suey or something. It's just like some theme song. If you search for like Oriental like keystrokes or something.
Now, anybody who knows anything about anything can tell you that Japan is world
There it is,
known
yeah.
for three
that's
things:
Shibuya.
highly efficient public transportation, panda bears, and artisan pizza. But few,
There's all the
if
B-roll
anyone,
coming into
knows
play,
about one of
yeah.
Japan's better kept secrets. It's car culture.
I mean, all of it. Like
We
that,
recently took a trip to this
Any of that
hidden
stuff
gem of the Orient
was
to
just
try
like
and
me
discover what secrets
walking
it was
around.
keeping.
Any just all that, any of that B-roll, any of that was
it's
just
like
like
a lot of
I'm
it.
on vacation in Japan, like shooting.
But we're also kind of trying to shoot a video.
At the time, I was not thinking.
Right.
It was just like I'm on a bullet train.
Yeah, I'm
like,
recording
Mount
this.
Fuji. Like, this is a cool shot. And then afterwards, it was like, fuck. Like, what footage do I? Like, what do I have?
I remember a lot of the comments to point out the geographical errors.
That is probably the most commented.
This video,
Germany, or Algeria,
and we point to
or whatever.
Hawaii as Japan.
after the straightforward Jack Diamond video, we went straight back to the getting people very mad. It's
All
like,
right, well, I guess that didn't work. Acting's
let's go back to making up a bunch of wrong stuff.
Not good at that. You know?
So we're here in Tokyo, and it actually doesn't feel that much different from America. I would describe it as similar to San Francisco, but with less Asians. We're just going to walk around a bit and check out the cars around here to try to get a good.
So I think this is the first introduction of like the kind of the blog one, like that you copied in SEMA. Like you did
the
in
man on the street.
Yeah.
No, not really.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's that style.
Sorta.
This is that style,
Right,
a little
yeah.
bit. But
That format.
Yeah,
We just
I see what you're
we
saying.
just needed something to like hold it together.
Right.
Yeah, I don't
exactly.
think I was. This was more like investigative journalist.
That's true.
You know, like the beat.
Feel for the car culture.
Now, you're probably already familiar with the more popular car-producing countries
yeah.
of the world.
Pause again. I just like how the music throughout this
Yeah,
thing is just like the most.
Yeah, what is this music? It's like Chinese flute.
Yeah.
This one I don't even know what it is.
I think it is.
It's definitely not Japanese, though.
I think it's Chinese like flute music or something. I think.
Yeah, I can see why this video didn't get picked up by some sensitive.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Go ahead.
Germany, United States, Korea. But what you may not realize is that Japan actually produces cars as well. Through careful observation, we were able to learn that the
Who filmed that one? Was that your wife?
Honestly, I don't know.
I mean, obviously.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
Wow, I'm wearing like.
It wasn't you.
I just can't. No, yeah, it definitely wasn't me, but I just can't imagine her.
I think it was. We were like, "Can you come downstairs, please, for like 2 seconds?
We're gonna look like idiots.
Film this." Yeah, I'm sure she was like not impressed.
These auto industries made up of what they call the Big Six: Nissan, Hyundai, Toyota, Lexus, Scion, and Crown.
that was this is a big anger issue
that
too.
one got a lot of comments.
Yeah.
Nissan and Hyundai. Oh fuck! I didn't even remember Hyundai.
Yeah.
The other thing about this, though, what is it? Nissan, Hyundai,
Lexus,
Scion, Toyota, Crown. I don't think I've ever read a comment that understood that the last 4 were Toyota.
Yeah.
They're always like, oh, like Nissan. Like I don't think anyone.
Hyundai's not Japanese.
I don't think anyone has fully understood why they were mad. Oh fuck! Hyundai.
Interestingly enough, cars aren't just a hobby to the Japanese. For millions, they're a way of life.
One thing we've noticed on the streets of Tokyo is there's a lot of vans here. I did some research into this, and it turns out the
What
cost
is
of
the
living
music?
is so high
This
here,
is,
that a lot of people just prefer to live in these things.
This is
Like a college student. You'll probably find
like
them living in one of these little guys
Indian.
like this.
It's like
On the
Native
other hand,
American
a more affluent person
drum
probably lives in
music
something
or
like
something.
this.
Now, one thing that's interesting to notice about Japan,
This took like 8 takes.
Yeah.
So this was at the
It's like the Nissan
the
museum.
Nissan like headquarters.
Yeah.
They have a bunch of like cars on
You can sit in
display.
the car. Like, God, we were so American. It felt so. We were like making a scene and being assholes. You could like hear the shifting on the outside of the car and stuff. Oh fuck.
is that the idea of a high-powered sports car doesn't exist. That's because after World War II, Japan was forced to sign a treaty stating that they wouldn't produce a car with more than 200.
Some real prime Photoshop.
Yeah.
in order
like
to
that.
protect the Mustang and the Corvette.
Proud of that.
So, how much horsepower is this thing making?
Yeah, 276.
Since I've been here,
Okay.
one
Who
thing
was that guy again?
He runs a company that does like aero parts and stuff for all
Dang.
kinds of like vans and
That guy was cool as fuck too.
yeah. I know he comes to the U.S. a lot.
Oh, does
that's
he?
why. But
That guy was super stylish.
So, yeah.
too.
All right, so you're gonna say it's okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How is his English? Does he?
It's pretty good. It's pretty
Oh,
good.
is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy was super cool.
Yeah. And then
And his car was sweet. That was actually his car.
the RCF, yeah. Which actually has like 400.
Yeah.
Yeah, 276.
276. Killed it.
pick up
Oh, yeah,
on
so-
from the Japanese culture
Pause again.
is that
Yeah.
This is the scene that those people like.
Oh yeah.
Like someone like ripped this scene, or maybe
Oh, that's
right after this.
They turned this into like a GIF.
Yeah, like,
on
when you see a
Instagram or
skyline.
something.
Oh yeah.
Big white letters.
The first time we were turned into a GIF
Matter
without
of-
our permission,
At
probably.
least the first time we knew about it.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
quiet, reserved, respectful nature. Now, the Japanese don't like to stand out. Oh, dude! Oh, it's a skyline! Get in here! Oh!
Of course, it's difficult to talk about
Skyline
cars
was
in
sweet.
Japan without at least mentioning possibly Japan's best kept secret, the skyline.
This whole like
Introduced in the
you can go. Just this whole segment is like I think one of the best things we've ever made.
That's probably why you put Skyline in the title.
Just the whole skyline
Yeah.
segment.
So what track was this at?
This was at Fuji Speedway.
Okay. And you could like fucking. We're like on the edge of the track. You don't give a shit.
They're a lot more lenient about
yeah, we're like
having
we-
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You
This
put
this
your-
isn't the Formula One Fuji, right?
This is like the short course.
Oh, okay.
at
but it's the same track, but just a different layout.
It's actually a separate track at the same facility.
Dang.
You can like reach over and like high five the drivers as they are.
It's more European rally style.
Yeah. Super cool.
The 1940s and popularized by the war.
There's some other good Photoshop right there.
Off-road capability. The Skyline, known amongst enthusiasts as King Kong, can be thought of as the Honda Civic of Japan. For its limitless
that might be our
performance.
best line.
Best line.
Known as King Kong.
King Kong and then the Honda Civic of Japan. Yeah.
Yeah, that was solid. Fuck the Honda Civic. Man, I don't even know how this.
So far ahead.
It's a very dense video.
Yeah. It's hard to process all of it. That thing
Abilities and quirky advertising campaign.
There it is again. That's obviously your voice, just altered.
Yeah, that was my
We
voice,
began
yeah.
to find subtle cultural differences that you'd really have to be looking for. For example, bowing to your car before you enter.
Pause it. Yeah, I remember that this was after Mike had left.
Yeah, I had left and you just like got a bunch of extra footage of your friends.
I was like, so we're gonna have this thing where we like act like all Japanese like bow to their car. So just like all these guys I know were like, okay, can you like bow before you get in your car?
I think the best part about this scene is you can clearly tell that these guys have been bowing all their life.
Yeah.
Like they're very good.
Very
at
good
bowing.
at it.
Yeah. It's like a shot where we're bowing and we like totally fucking suck at it.
Yeah, you're bending from like the shoulders rather than the hip.
Yeah, we don't know what we're doing. These guys are just like killing it. They're all graceful.
But the similarities were there as well.
Sweet
like
dog.
hanging out with your buds or going to a fancy dinner with your family.
Little callback there, right there.
But above all,
Oh,
That Dodge Ram was just like a random thing that we happened to see.
Yeah. That was you.
You had to pull your
just
camera out quick for that
at
one.
7-Eleven or something.
It's like a family going to 7-Eleven and lifted around.
Yeah, these time lapses are from my hotel room, I think.
Before Garrett got there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
else, we were constantly amazed how even in a land that was so foreign, some things made us feel like we never even left.
It turns out it doesn't matter what country you're in. Hondas sound terrible.
Oh yeah, that's fucking Mongolian throat singing.
They close it out with it.
Were you at a certain event when that Honda, or it was just what is that like a paid or like a parking?
That was like a cruise night.
Okay. How common is like the generic Honda Civic with a terrible exhaust? It's very common here in America.
It's not. It's common among like a small group.
Yeah, it's just a little.
It's like a subculture.
God, even their like janky Hondas.
Well, they're like doing it like authentically.
They do it so well, and it's like, oh no, like you don't understand that like people soup these up in America because they're poor.
Yeah,
and like they're easy to steal. Like you will go there and see better versions of American trends.
Right.
Like they'll see it from the outside and mimic it, but do it with a ton of like precision and just kind of restrained
self-respect.
Design. Yeah, it's like, no, this is supposed to be way shittier. It's like, oh no, this is like not. You missed the point. You need to go like stab someone. Like, rob a 7-Eleven.
Yeah, so the ending of this is just like a big fucking.
Yeah, the ending of this. Yeah, I remember just being like, God, we have so much more cool footage,
and we have some great music,
and we've got a killer soundtrack to put it to. We may as well. A lot of the stuff was just like, here's some
bonus.
This ending section could have been like 3 times as long.
Yeah, there
was just so much cool shit we saw there. Yeah. I'm glad we put it in. I'm glad we put it in there.
Should we finish it off?
Yeah, hell yeah. That Z is like my favorite part.
Oh yeah.
God damn.
That's pretty proud of that final cut.
I like how the video ends with just a bunch of muscle cars.
Yeah, and they kill it at American Muscle. This is like they are. If you are honestly, not that I've been to that many countries, if you're a car guy, it's like Japan to me.
Ground zero.
It seems like one of the best places to go because they just do everything so well.
That's why I always go.
They put so much effort. Everything they do just oozes effort,
including those like sweet jacked fucking monster trucks.
Yeah, it's like. Like you just won't see, even if they do it cheap, they do cheap well,
like on purpose.
You know, it's like everything they do is so purposeful.
Yep.
I just had a ton of respect for them. You don't get the same kind of saturated walking around at Japanese car shows as you do at American ones.
No,
because and this is a generalization, and I guess I don't mean it this harshly, but in an American car show, you'll see a car and you'll be like, oh, like what motor? Right. You know, like, yeah, okay, like what's this car? Like, cool, like, you know, whatever.
Oh, you have a body kit.
Yeah, and a Japanese car show is like, what did this individual person do to this car? It's such a reflection of just them pouring themselves into that car that it is truly...
They're like executing a vision.
It is truly interesting to check out each car because they put so much work into it, into the finest details, and you get rewarded for checking out, for like really digging your nose into the engine bay.
They're really good at like pulling off a theme.
Yeah,
like cohesive.
Yeah, very cohesive. So yeah, that was a fun video, and I remember when we launched it, very few like publications or whatever you want to call it picked it up.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like, that's okay because this video is solid enough, like it'll spread around. And it ended up being
and I guess it was just because it's borderline.
I think so. It's
a little insensitive.
It can be interpreted as insensitive.
But I think the joke is more like we are.
Yeah.
I mean, we're making fun of ourselves.
It was supposed to be that.
We're like implying that we're like really dumb.
Right. It was
outsiders.
supposed to be that. But I can understand why people would get kind of bent out of shape.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks a lot for that, guys.
Back to the studio.
Yeah.
Now we go from the studio back to the studio.
Yeah. We're laughing at whatever. We're laughing about like handing it off to ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we record those segments like minutes, like an hour ago. So, hey, let's go out to the field with us sitting at the same table. Okay. Anyways, final little note. I guess a good way to introduce this is if you haven't been in a brand new car for a while, there is a perception that as cars get newer, they get nicer. Mm-hmm. And I've done that before because I'll get like a loaner. BMW is a good example.
Yeah.
Like I'll take my M5 in for service and be like, here's a loaner 3 Series. And I'm like, what a treat. A brand new
this is gonna be
BMW.
Great.
And you get in it and you're like, wow.
It's not that great.
It's like I would say early, mid, late 90s is about when they perfected
like being good
quality.
Yeah.
So like anything they developed then.
Well, back then, if you got out of a Chevy Lumina and into a 3 Series or 5 Series, be like, okay, like this is.
Yeah. But I guess I just mean what I'm trying to describe is like in the 1970s, they just didn't have that good a leather.
Right.
You know, or like door panels and stuff.
Yeah.
But by the mid 90s, they did.
Mm-hmm.
And so a nice leather interior and like wood grain and whatever in the mid 90s. Yeah, the like switch gear and stuff, they made some improvements, but all the new materials they've basically invented by then.
Right.
And most of the advancements since then have been in like better ways to hide the fact that it's cheap plastic.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Like soft touch plastic, which is now like a thing.
High-end vinyl seats.
Yeah, high-end fake shit.
Yeah,
is
or
like those
wood,
are the advancements.
Wood look, plastic.
They haven't like maybe at the ultra high-end they've invented like new grains of leather. Like we physically attack the cow to like soften its skin. But it's like most of the advancements have been in hiding cheapness or like faking luxury.
Yeah.
And so you'll get in a new car and I'll be like, what? They're still noisy. They haven't like made crazy improvements on like how noisy they are. Hondas are still pretty loud on the highway and stuff. And so specifically the area where we have gripes.
Major.
There are two. One is this trend And I think it's really probably BMW's the worst offender.
I think
but
Mercedes
does it too.
I wouldn't say it's a trend. It's just like a blatant.
It exists.
It's a blatant cost cutting.
Yeah, where they will offer models with like halogen.
Yeah,
Standard.
headlights.
It's like the standard
thing,
Yeah.
and you have to like.
And it's like a $42,000
Right.
3 Series.
Yeah, it's a luxury marquee.
But it just happens to be like the
And you
lower end model.
and you
of
can
it.
get it with like halogens.
like not even a projector.
Yeah,
just
like
like
a standard, like a yellow,
like something that would come off like a '90s Sentra.
Yeah, or like they park and turn the car off, and the bulb like cools down for 5 seconds. You know, it's like still lit. It's like what the what?
But the thing about those is like you can. It's different when a car is just made to be cheap.
Yeah.
But that you feel is like, okay, this car was designed for this like LED, but like we want people to upgrade to that, so we also need to design a super shitty version.
The base
that we
one
don't
out
needs
of our
yeah.
way to make like a crappy one. I think in America, BMW and Mercedes is their whole
like only luxury.
brand image is luxury. And in Europe and stuff,
There's
it's
like
just
like cloth
you
interiors.
can get like
and stuff.
it doesn't mean anything.
Diesel.
Yeah, it's like Chevy or something.
Yeah.
It's just their local brand. And so they do have they happen to have shitty cheap versions of stuff, but it's very annoying. It's like if that is your image in America, then don't offer it.
And it's like well, you have like Toyota
Yeah.
like making like LEDs and stuff like standard on like shitty cars.
yeah,
Right.
like Corolla.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, like you want an X3? Like, here
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
Oh, you better get like the premium package if you want like a
if you want
decent
the,
headlight.
adjustable laser headlights and stuff. It's like, no, you can have this fucking headlight. You have to go out and like light the lamps with a Bic lighter.
I also wonder that way about
Kerosene
like
lamps.
not just in luxury cars, but like key tumblers, because like keyless button start
Right.
is in like most cars, or at least available in most cars.
Yeah.
But I also wonder like, is that really more expensive to make something like that than like design a key mechanism and
I
like
wonder.
a place to put it and
Yeah,
stuff?
I do wonder about that. You'd think any physical. My guess is that they recycle it. They already had all the lock and tumbler
And they
stuff,
just-
and it's like it's not like they're reinventing
But they still need to like
that. They
make a hole
integrate it.
for it and
Yeah.
blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Well,
Like
it's just
they
in
still
the
need,
stealing
well, they
color.
still need to essentially engineer two different
Yeah.
Yeah.
versions. And I
And
think,
a lot of even if it does have a key and tumbler, it still has the RFID chip in
right.
the key.
It's not like just a basic
Right.
Yeah, those
mechanical
days are
key.
Those days are gone.
Yeah.
So like how much? I don't think it's that much more expensive to put a button.
It's
and like
annoying
and
that
little
stuff just
sensor.
still exists. It's
Well-
like, would you just move us on?
Well, it's purely a cost thing. Like we'll put this in the base model, but you don't want the base model.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like otherwise you would, but like
right.
if you want to use a key, you can get the base model.
Yeah, I'm surprised more companies, I guess because it's just not dialed in perfectly, but the whole having the key be your cell phone thing,
Oh yeah, like
if they could
the
get
Tesla.
that perfect where you just walk up to the car
it's flawless.
and it unlocks and you don't think of it as like, do I have my keys?
Right.
I mean, I guess a smart key, but then you have to have it in your pocket. I don't know.
Yeah. I
You
think
could keister it. Keister the smart key. Like that's so,
but you also need to, even if you do have that, it also needs to have like a backup as well.
yeah, I don't know.
It still needs to be like engineered. And
Anyways, the
put into
point
it.
is car companies still allowing these like cheap ass versions.
But purely as like a cash, well, kind of like
as a
how
cash
like
grab.
BMW literally charges a subscription for CarPlay.
That one's
Yeah.
so stupid.
It's like the most BMW move.
Yeah, you now have to pay what, like 50 or 80 a month after 3
I don't think it's a
years.
month.
I think it's a year.
Per
I
year
think it's
or
100.
whatever.
It's like whatever, $10 a month.
You have to
Yeah.
subscribe to CarPlay.
Just something that is free. In
like every other
in like
platform.
a Kia Rio,
And it's
they
something
haven't-
like they don't even design it. Like it's just Apple.
I wonder.
They
if,
just allow you the access.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're I don't know. I'm just trying to imagine like 20 years from now, you buy a used BMW and it's like, well, you better sign up for Apple CarPlay. Like what? Somebody is gonna like crack that so fast. Like the first thing to.
But it's like that company would design a fucking cheap halogen
course they
headlight so they
would.
can
Yeah.
upsell people.
So they could scam people out of $50 a month for software.
Yeah.
So stupid. Yeah, the other one is unpainted black plastic cladding.
Which is interesting. So I mentioned before that like we're sort of in the market for a new car.
Yeah.
Because our Golf is coming up off lease a little later this year. I mean, we were sort of looking at SUVs, which obviously my wife is going to drive most of the
Crossover.
time. Crossover, small,
Yeah.
whatever. But she like has this like, I don't know if it's unnatural, but like kind of unusual like hatred towards
Unpainted.
exposed black plastic.
Yeah.
Good. I share it.
Yeah.
Which is funny because like we went and looked at like the new RAV4, which is like kind of like a neat looking. Like they like tried, but like it's like heavy on the plastic.
Yeah.
The like cladding. And she's like, I like it, but I hate the way that plastic looks, and I don't think I want it because
Dang.
And they
Because it
don't
looks
they don't
deal breaker,
offer
huh?
painted versions.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
A lot of
Wow.
them don't. Which is funny because I think what it does is it takes her back to like the 90s or like
Right.
when you remember when like
that was an option.
the like well it was like no it was like the base model
Yeah,
had
you'll still
Yeah.
see, I think.
like a Tacoma or something.
Yeah, I think Tacoma. I don't think they do it anymore, but you could get
up till pretty recently.
Yeah, every once in a while you'll see a Tacoma that's just like the basis,
Yeah.
like a newspaper will buy one for the
Right.
delivery boy,
Yeah.
and it's just like, what is the cheapest, most miserable
It's
truck?
like we're not even going to
we can
paint
buy?
we're not even going to paint the fucking bumpers or
The
mirrors.
bumpers are unpainted,
Yeah.
and it's got some dinky little wheels
Right.
on it and stuff.
And I think that's where it comes from. Even like cars would have like the side moldings, like on the cheap car they were like just black.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right? But if you got like the EX, they'd be like body color.
Yeah, because they're designed. Those are bumpers,
Right.
and they're designed to be hit
Right.
by other cars and just shit that you'll hit.
Sure.
And so it's like, if this thing gets screwed up,
It'll just
You
fuck
just
up the
buy a
paint
new
too.
one. You don't-
either it won't scuff because it's not even painted, or buy a new one. You
Yeah.
know, if you like drag it across something, buy a new one, and
You don't have to-
paint it.
yeah.
You know, it's cheaper. So it's like it's on the one hand, it's nice because there's a utility to it,
Right.
But it does look super cheap, and as the car ages, it looks even worse.
But obviously, there's a lot of people that want it. Like they don't think it. They think it's like an upgrade
they must be doing it for a reason.
because Mazda
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
We were talking about Mazda just debuted the CX-30, which is
Yeah.
just like
Here's a picture of it.
it's like whatever their new medium-sized SUV is, and like it looks like a typical Mazda, whatever.
Yeah.
Except it has these like abnormally large, like
Fenders?
huge black
Yeah.
Flares, right?
cladding, flare things around the fenders.
Yeah, it's like, what are people driving through like thorn bushes or something frequently?
But it's like it's purely a styling thing. Like
Yeah.
whatever their team decided, like we need these big. We need to go heavy.
It just looks like someone like a high schooler, like, you know, put a wide body kit on his WRX, but just
Yeah,
couldn't
it's like an
couldn't
unpainted
afford the
body kit.
painted. Yeah.
Yeah, so it follows like the circumference of the bottom of the
Right.
car, and
Yeah.
to me, it's like there's utility there. You're kicking up rocks and
right.
shit and stuff, but I don't know. It is ugly and.
But
cheap,
I don't think that's why people buy it. I don't think people like. I want the cladding so it protects the body. I don't think.
You think they like the style?
I think so.
I don't know.
I wonder.
Let us know if you.
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing.
us know
I'm guessing
why
the
you
people
do or
that
don't like
the people
this.
that listen to this probably don't enjoy it.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I think the thing is like cladding means like active.
Yeah. It's more outdoorsy.
Oh,
right.
you
You,
think
know,
so?
Oh, yeah.
more off road.
Like it's not an
think it's
SUV
an
if
image
it doesn't have some like raw.
Well, I mean, like Jeep Rubicons have them, or they have had them for.
Yeah, because you're like dragging
Exactly.
that shit across rocks and stuff.
Well, that's the idea.
But I
of
think
it.
maybe that's where it comes from.
But why does a fucking front wheel drive?
Yeah,
Whatever.
I wonder. My biggest thing is just the aging.
How, like,
It's
just gets gray.
it
Yeah,
looks so bad on older cars, and
Yeah.
that was one of my biggest gripes. It's such a stupid gripe, but with the Type R, because not only is it unpainted black plastic, but it's like in the shape of a grill,
Yeah.
kind of. And I'm just imagining trying to wash it.
honeycomb,
Yeah, it's
whatever.
like every corner of that honeycomb design is going to have like sediment in it, and like sun damage. It's like that is what looks. That's what makes a car look old. Cars look old when the headlights fade
Yeah.
and the black plastic
Fades.
And if you swap both those things
Yeah.
on a car, it'll actually make it look.
Yeah, I just think I think the reason she dislikes it is because she just associates
It looks cheap.
that with being like the poor man's.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, why would I like pay a lot of money for a car that doesn't have a fucking
Painted.
painted fender?
Yeah.
I agree with her. That's cool. Good for
Even like the regular Jeeps, like, you know, V6, V8 Jeeps,
Grand Cherokee.
Grand Cherokees. I don't know about new ones. New ones might be painted, but even like 2014, 2015 one, they have like a small little fender flare that's unpainted black plastic.
yeah, the tiny little
Yeah.
the little lip.
Yeah.
I think brand new you can still get it.
Probably the whatever the
Right. But there's an option to get it painted.
Yeah,
too.
you can get like a 5-cylinder one. Yeah, you can still do it.
Yeah.
Full circumference bottom of the car. I think it's an active thing. I think it's actually like
functional.
Yeah, I mean, it is functional.
Right.
You can kick shit up, and
then just replace it.
people probably don't replace it, but you have the option. Yeah. Anyways, let us know your thoughts.
Yeah.
Very, very curious.
Black
Settle this
plastic.
one for us. Black plastic, how do you feel? All right. So, solid, tantalizing
Episode.
Yeah.
Well
that's
done.
good. Thank you for being here. Thank you, especially to all our patrons. Seriously, I mean it. Really appreciate the support. Thank you to all our fans as well. Everyone listening to this, that's awesome. Thank you guys for being a solid
Really sweet.
audience, all the interaction, all that kind of stuff. Hope you enjoyed. See you next week.
See you.